Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. As a part of my training and coaching, I recommend a simple menu because that, among other things, helps with speed of service, which, if you don't know, is a key component of a very strong food business foundation. The other keys are quality, cleanliness, and community. And if you're unfamiliar with those key components, check out my book, Food Truck 101, again, Beginner to Winner. I go into great detail about those components, or join our Facebook group because I talk about them constantly. Today I want to share what one food chain is doing, because remember, success leaves clues that anybody can find and then follow those clues to their own success. So if a big chain is willing to do these kind of things, you might want to follow along with them. Burger King is planning to simplify its menu and remove some products that have become too complicated to build. And you're probably thinking, why is that? They want to improve their drive-through speed of service. Now see the connection there. Simplifying the menu improves speed of service. I recommend a small menu. I recommend easy builds. I recommend workflow. All of those things add up to speed of service. Another thing that I recommend everyone do is have a simple, easy-to-read menu. Well, guess what? Burger King is also improving their menu design to make it easier for customers to make quick decisions at the drive-thru. So here you have a company that has over 15,000 outlets around the world, and they are doing the two things that I recommend to all food trucks. Simple menu, easy to read menu. They spend millions upon millions of dollars for research, and they back up their decisions at the corporate level with that research. So I'm explaining to you guys how to be successful in a food truck. And one of the things is to have a simple, easy to read menu and a simple menu that you can execute quickly. Now, why is Burger King doing this? Well, they just did simple math. They found that last year, their average time from a car joining the line at their drive-thru, which is exactly like a guest joining your line at your food truck, it took them 359 seconds, or 1 second shy of 6 minutes, to get that car its food and get them on their merry little way. What they figured out mathematically is if they could reduce the speed of service, they can put more cars through the line per hour, which leads to what? Increased sales. Each car has an average check amount, so they can look at the number of cars coming through the drive-thru and go, ooh, if I can get 2 or 3 more an hour, or 5 or 6 more an hour, or 10 more an hour, each of those cars represents a certain dollar amount to Burger King. It's the exact same thing with you when someone steps into your line. They represent a certain dollar amount. You should know on average what a guest is worth to you. You don't have to look it up on the internet. You know by looking at your sales reports. And if you're not looking at your sales reports to know how much a guest is worth for you, you are not handling your business as efficiently as you could and making great decisions because you don't have all the information to make great decisions. So what Burger King found by doing all the research is what I talk about all the time. Slow service limits sales. You cannot increase your sales if you can't move more people through your line per meal period. Whether you're looking at that measurement per hour or per meal period or per day, it doesn't matter. You can't increase sales unless you can get more people to join your line and then get them through the line faster. The second thing that Burger King figured out is that slow service chases away guests. People see a line and mentally they have a limit to whatever that length of the line represents. They'll look at that line and just go, ooh, that's too long, I'm going somewhere else. And they never join the line to begin with. Everyone has a different limit. For me, if I see more than 3 or 4 cars in a line, I start to think about, ooh, what else is close by that I can jump in and get my food faster? It's the same with people when they walk up and join your line. If it's 8 or 10 or 12 people deep, they start to question, can I get my food quickly enough, or should I just join somebody else's line that's a little bit shorter, or someone that I know will be faster? And then the third thing that Burger King figured out is that people will jump the line if the service is too slow. In a lot of drive-thrus, you're able to pull out a line and move on around the building and get off the parking lot and go somewhere else. The same thing happens to you. Somebody mentally goes, ooh, I can handle 8 people in line. I will join this line. But if it does not move fast enough to suit them, they will get out of that line and go somewhere else. Now, what's interesting is most business owners have their head down and are not paying attention to the length of the line, other than they go, ooh, we have a long line, but they don't pay attention to the details in that line to notice that 4 or 5 or 6 people have left the line. They just think, ooh, we're getting faster. And that's not the case. Without fail, I have noticed when I go to a food truck event where the people are there just to eat food, that the food truck owners are focused on the person in front of them and not paying attention to the line. They don't move their speed of service any faster. In fact, I went to one Friday night where they were going slow. Both my wife and I commented that we could get on their truck and go faster and not know where any of the food was. They were going that slow because they didn't care. They were in a food truck event. People came there to eat food, so they were just going at a nice leisurely pace. And then the comments about that food truck event the next day reflected there weren't enough food trucks to merit the amount of people that were there. So guess what'll happen the next time? There will be more food trucks. And all of these food truck owners that went to the first event thinking, ooh, I made a whole bunch of money, I will make a whole bunch of money again, won't be able to because there'll be more competition. So their lines will automatically appear to be shorter because they have spread out the number of people amongst more trucks. You want to increase your sales? You increase your speed of service. You get faster and faster and faster. Another thing that I talk about all the time, if you guys read anything or listen to anything that I say or do, either here in the podcast or on the Facebook group or in my books, is we got to move food trucks out of the Stone Age. Burger King is adding a new technology for the kitchens, not only to improve speed of service, but to improve another key component that people complain about when they go to a fast food restaurant, and that's order accuracy. Burger King uses the things that I talk about that food trucks still haven't figured out how to use. And on top of the technology Burger King is already using, they're adding more technology. They're adding more automatic equipment. They're adding different things to help them improve either the speed or reducing the amount of labor they need in a kitchen. Now, we can't add fancy robots and all that kind of automatic equipment because it's super expensive, but we can do the things that fast food restaurants have been doing since the late 90s. Food trucks have to get out of handwriting tickets. I have beaten this subject to death. Stop handwriting tickets. That era went away in the 1960s. Get on board with a printer so it will print what you are currently writing. And if you're using a printer, upgrade yourself to a kitchen display screen. That's called a KDS. What that does is eliminates all the need for paper tickets completely. Nothing's handwritten. Nothing is even printed. It electronically goes to the people that are making the food, and they can look at the screen and go, yep, I need this, 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 and this. Internet ordering is another thing food trucks have got to get into. This helps to reduce the line that people will look at and go, ooh, that's too long, because people can order from their phone. They can either get on a web browser and order from your website, or if you want to get an app, they can go to an app and order your food and not have to stand in a line. Plus, they have the menu right there in front of them. They don't have to walk up and read your menu and try to discern it. Another example, the same food truck event that my wife and I went to. People were walking up to their little A-frame sign that they had setting 2 feet from their pickup window or their ordering window, and were snapping a picture of it to walk back to their group to show the people in the group what the food truck was selling. That A-frame sign should have been 15 people behind the truck so that the people could walk up, start to make their decision at that point, so by the time they got to the window, they already knew what they wanted, so the order taking process becomes faster. The people that were stepping up to take the photograph of the menu knew that it was going to be too long, but they wanted to share with their family so they can figure out what they wanted. So they wanted to be fast, but the food truck owner didn't want to be fast. Now, if you're finally thinking to yourself, well, Bill, you're just stupid because fast food restaurants really don't compete with food trucks, you're going to be surprised. There are a number of companies that create what's known as ghost kitchens, and those ghost kitchens are food trucks or food trailers. One company is called Reef Technologies, and they supply these ghost kitchens for fast food chains like Wendy's. So now Wendy's can have one unit in a city and then have 2 or 3 of these food trucks set up to be ghost kitchens. You drive by it, you don't even know what the food truck is, but you'll see all kinds of DoorDash and Uber Eats and all the other different third-party deliveries pulling up, grabbing food, and heading off to deliver it, which puts this Wendy's and the other fast food chains closer to their guest base that's ordering food. So they're getting hotter food that's not having to come from the original site of the Wendy's or the Burger King or whichever food chain is doing this. So what this is going to do to food trucks in general is there will be less equipment, there will be less materials, there will be less physical trailers available for us to buy, because if you're a food truck builder and Wendy's International comes up to you and says, hey, I would like to order 150 food trucks, you're going to throw out all the little mom and pop places and work on that big order, because that's a bunch of money for your business. So you're going to see fewer and fewer food truck builders be able to take care of your order for a food truck or food trailer in a timely manner. It's going to push the builds out to months, if not years, before you can get a food truck. And the only places that will be able to give you a food truck quickly are going to be questionable in quality. I often say that fast food is the closest real world analog to a food truck. Even if you think all fast food is just subpar, it has no quality, there's no taste, there are lessons to be learned from the well-ran units. Remember, the key components of a strong food truck business, and these are the exact same components of a strong fast food restaurant, sit-down restaurant, fast casual restaurant, any other food entity out there. The components are quality, service, cleanliness, and community. The fast food companies are looking to increase their share of the overall food pie by improving their service. Guess where their increase for their part of the pie comes from? That would be your piece of the pie. So you got to get your business prepared. Otherwise, you'll find yourself with your hand holding your head, wondering why everybody's joining all the other food truck lines. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you find all the information helpful to your food truck business, please consider becoming a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the links in the description. Every little bit does help keep me going. If you guys need a food truck coach, follow the links in the description. I have all different kinds of services available to help you guys reach your potential. And please, by all means, join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new to decades-old veterans. We're all there to help each other become successful. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. Come back tomorrow, because you know I've got plenty to say about the food truck industry.